Jax is the other one, so...
He wants to take the matchup.
Yeah, and I mean, it feels very nice for Jax, because think about it. You hook shot in as Camille, realistically, what can you do? He just opens up his Counter-Strike, wins out. In a trade of autos, Jax will win out. And in all-in, Jax will win out. It really comes down to this war where Xiaoxiang needs to heavily play with his W to try to poke out Xiaoxiang, and then combo with his jungler.
It's very telling that Xiaoxiang picks up Camille, where Audi loves his champion too. And again, I'm relating because this is Xiaoxiang's first split here in summer, going up against New, who New decides, let's take the counter matchup. This comp's now shifted. Tell me about EDG, because with TF pressure, it feels like there's a bit of prior tops up.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to play more of a 1-3-1 style. Actually, both comps, realistically, but it definitely feels like EDG are more heavily indexed into that with the fact that they have a TF who definitely feels better in a side lane rather than the Galio, who's a much more, team-oriented champion.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, though. The music ramps up for a reason. We've changed again.
It's ramping up for the, the really intense, like, James Bond villain-esque music with the RNG logo into the gyos. I'm ready. We get those now.
Yeah, we do. Let's run in. RNG, EDG. A matchup you don't want to miss. Historical at its best. And competitive at its very best as well.
So there's no worst?
There's no worst. Only good here between RNG and EDG. Jax versus Camille. And we got the Ezreal on Hope with Meiko in a set. I know that's not the most exciting. Let's look top as we talk about it. I'm waiting for it. There we go.
The dog was there again. I hope one of you tweeted a quick shot, because, yeah, his dog here is massive LPL fan, but, going even a step further than that, like a step. Ooh.
Oh no, we got a level 1 invade. This is why we need to see more. A 4-man Shield Duran though from Xiaohu, as Gold Card will be resurrected. New walking into his deathbed. Counter-Strike hits 3. He wants to trade, but I think RNG have just flubbed up.
Well, hysterics. This is the potential game 3 we were talking about, but this
LPL, baby.
I can see what they were thinking, right? You have the Karma, so you have the range support, very strong level 1 champion. You have Galio, so we already saw the Shield of Duran can get a massive taunt, but obviously walking in blind, EDG were ready. EDG picking up 2 kills is absolutely massive, and on their bot lane, no less.
Let's watch again, because they thought, oh, they're going to be in the brush.
Oh, does he just face check?
He does. Oh, my lord.
Yeah, let's remember, Camille also a very strong level 1 champion with her E, just able to lock someone down, and we see EDG just coming out ahead with the fact of the hook shot coming from the Camille, the gold card from the Twisted Fate, and yeah, just great start from them.
And now, almost a 1K gold lead before this game has even begun.
So the one thing that jumps out to me about the runes is the fact that I remember back in the day when we had this matchup more, you would see a lot of Camille's go towards Comet, because again, you are a lot more about trying to get those short trades off with W and, win out over kind of a poke war, but instead going for the grasp. So still about short trades, but...
Oh, Shield Duran mid. Scout flashes. What a very active early game.
I mean, the last game was active as well, right? It might not have ended high kill, but there was tons of action, and this time around, it's going to be interesting because I always say this when you have a ranged enchanter support is they're very fragile. They're very easy to gank. So typically a team wants to play around them and give them vision so they can freely just hit turret, because obviously range against melee, very easy for them to go and get turret plates.
I want you to come back though, because despite the invade, as Sett support running into Gala, he has flash. Didn't use it in the last fight with Mantra Inspire. Hope dodges away from the Q. That means the Inner Flame doesn't get the slow, but damage still there thanks to the Spellbinder. Or Spell Thieves, excuse me.
If they're low enough, they can set up for a dive.
Well, let's see. The minion wave in the way of Xiaolong Bao. Just walking down as well. I don't like this lyric. I think EDG can turn it.
Yep, we have TP on both of EDG's soul laners as well.
Xiaolong Bao at half health. JunJia's running on in. Over the wall. It will be flash measured out. They get the stun down. And Hope picks up another kill. 2-0 at 3 minutes in the game. RNG. It's time to stop.
Yeah, I think we've all discovered it now. The solution was losing game 1, hysterics. It's been sitting in front of our faces all along.
Oh no, EDG knew it was going to happen like this.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, we can see what happened there, right? EDG's bot lane forcing, which ended up with RNG's bot lane winning a trade, but they ended up winning it so heavily it made them think they could dive, but JunJia was already pathing towards bot side, so was very easily able to answer that play. And great job by him flashing aggressively, knowing that he had the damage to finish off that kill.
Do win conditions even matter anymore? I was going to ask you, just remind me about EDG, but hang on. You're getting bullied here a little bit. So tell me, just quickly, before we get fighting, how are EDG going to play out the rest of this game? Because they've already won with an Ezreal.
For me, it's about having Scout influence the top lane matchup, because despite the fact that Jax definitely comes out ahead in the isolated 1v1, especially as the game goes longer, like early game, as we can see in CS, is pretty close. If you can get this matchup to swing in one way, it could swing extremely hard since it is two, you know, high damage fighter champions, right? If you can get Xiaoxiang on an item breakpoint way sooner, he could just end up smashing that side lane for quite a long time.
And then be unmatchable while we hit mid. 3 people here. Meiko ready for the face breaker. Xiaohu's just dead. And another kill goes over to this Sett support.
And Scout didn't even need to be part of it. It was actually just JunJia and Meiko.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, bruisers in the early game are extremely strong.
And EDG just being super proactive. I don't think we talked about this because it's been set up by that early invade. But JunJia having a much better start where RNG were hoping Xiaohu would get to 6 and make something happen elsewhere.
And this kind of an interesting interaction of this matchup is we talked about that Xiaoxiang can't really aggressively E in because he will lose out every time.
Yep.
So we do see New trying to force out trades with auto attacks, and he opens for an aggressive trade, and Xiaoxiang is forced back.
Interesting lane dynamic. At 6, Lyric, what happens is, oh, Hope a bit too far forward there, champ. A lot of damage coming out of Ming this early on. Haymaker, not as much. Inner Fire hits both Hope and Meiko. And
one thing I've loved about Ming is he's always been willing to pull out these types of champions. Let's remember that he's the guy who's consistently willing to pull out Morgana pretty much in any meta. It was his pocket pick, you know, in spring and even last year. So Morgana, the Karma, he's always willing to default back to these champions if they look good.
Also helped when Uzi had the pocket Caitlyn.
Yep. Yes, it did.
Pocket.
Yes, it did. Because as you can see, this bot lane functions not exactly in the same way, but you are pushing lane, you are trying to take plates, but to me, the fact that you are an Ashe rather than a Caitlyn, it's a lot more about turning towards Dragon or using your pressure to find picks in the enemy jungle rather than just taking the turret outright.
My attention diverted because Xiaohu is getting hit by a Stormy Bear.
Yes, he is. And the Stormy Bear is a level ahead,
yes,
and he also has pressed the attack this time around, so he's going to do quite a bit of damage in those early trades.
I mean, look, the Bami Cinder already on board. Xiaohu starts up this Dragon. As Gala makes a roam as well, but JunJia, Meiko, and Hope are all moving.
Xiaoxiang is also on his way down, so EDG will have a numbers advantage.
At 1.5k, Destiny now channeled into the back. They've cut off the choke. Gold card locks them down. A 3-man face breaker. Shielders ran onto 2 though, but Hope has already picked up the first kill. While damage onto Meiko. Xiaohu just wants something in his kit. He'll get it, but over the wall. Hope goes again. Needs a Q, doesn't land it for his 4th kill. And RNG at least gets something, but they lose the war.
And overall, that was just all on Scout, finding that great position to come in, deal a ton of damage to the side of RNG, and pretty much guarantee them bursting out Xiaolangbao, who, let's also keep in mind, was already tanking the Dragon, so was already about half HP when that fight started. So it wasn't exactly a 4v4. It was more like a 4 versus 3.5.
Okay.
And EDG likes those kinds of odds.
They do. They pick up Cloud off the back of it.
I mean, you can see here, right? Xiaolangbao's already low. Scout comes in, uses the gold card. Meiko flashes in aggressively. It guarantees a kill. Now you're in a 4v3 situation. Meiko's still really tanky, so sure he goes down in the end, but still EDG coming out on top.
Oh, nice shield from Ming.
That was pretty sad, but still felt good that EDG got the Dragon and, you know, went 1-for-1 in kills.
We've seen an Ezreal this far ahead. Wasn't this early in the game, but just snowball out of control. Jackie Love with JunJia as a Yuumi. So we'll see where this goes from here. Of course, there is a CS lead in the bottom lane, as they've constantly been pushing, but Hope makes up for that with the early blood and gold he's received because of it. So tell me, RNG do what from here? Because with the Ashe arrow, with Galio, it feels like there's a lot of lockdowns, there's a lot of global pressure from mid.
Yeah, to me, their comp still screams all bot side, right? We talked about how they have the kind of more fragile bot lane. They also have the aggressive playmaking tools in bot lane with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, so very easy to lock someone down. Xiaohu follow up with his ultimate. Xiaoxiang Bowser, you have a ton of burst, so to me, you just leave New on an island. It's not the kind of matchup where you need to snowball in his favor like how EDG should want to with the Camille. New eventually will outscale and win it outright, so he's just kind of fine farming and going even.
As now, Hextech ultimatum timed perfectly, walks on out of it. Looks for the shield once again. New with a favorable trade back though.
It was hilarious to where it looks like he outplays and he quickly realizes, wait, though, I still don't win this battle.
Hope walks on up, good arcane shift away. Xiaohu Bao gets face break it in. 4 members down in the bottom lane. Collateral damage will not secure the kill while Herald goes down. JunJia's walking up for his own trade. And
so far, it's panning out how we'd expect Hysterics, right? EDG playing towards the top side while RNG using their tools in the bot lane. Still not able to find a route to bringing Scout up to influence his topside matchup, so is just going to get himself a bit of plating gold in mid lane.
RNG trading at least something for, despite the early game direction, is better than nothing at all. As Herald not going to be used at this point, and Ming is going to go back. Nice skin.
And when we talk about like scaling and think about how this game's going to eventually progress, I don't feel like it's that clear cut because Hope outranges everyone on the side of RNG, so it's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic works out. But we do have New, who's going to become this massive side lane threat. I would say in teamfights, I slightly favor Camille for the ease of execution, of the sense of you always have the opportunity to Hextech ultimatum a carry. But again, another facet is, hey, there's a Galio, so you Hextech ultimatum a carry. Now Galio ultimate comes and knocks you up. It's like there's going to be a lot of different working parts to the two compositions that RNG and EDG have drafted because they both are set up similarly, right? We have global mids, we have split pushing, like, dueling top laners.
Let's give a cop-out answer. It's down to execution.
Let's go. I just love sitting on a fence and not committing either way.
No. Look, I shouldn't comment. I couldn't give you such a great detailed answer that you gave me, but
hey, I give a lot of context on like the possibilities.
But hey, you do good.
Ultimately.
Now, I just want to mention, coming back to the game, you've told me, because you instructed me in the ways of playing Jax against Camille, you said you're going to do this. Blade of the Ruined King getting picked up first here against the Camille for the dueling potential.
Yeah, it still kind of surprises me that we don't just see him go straight away for the Triforce. But, I mean, theoretically, you should be able to hit that item spike sooner, and obviously is a lot stronger ever since it got buffed for melee champion, so going to want to look to come online with just straight up
Is this too dangerous? Well, yes, if it is, if it resets.
There we go. EDG gave you the answer.
Okay. There's still 1,500 gold ahead. 1,300, sorry. We've got a Dragon coming up.
But let's also remember that EDG have the Rift Herald, too. So they haven't dropped that yet. With Dragon coming up, maybe we see them use it to pressure. But as we said in the previous series, when you do have these kinds of global ultimates...
Hang on, Destiny use over the wall. JunJia wasn't spotted out, and that's the undoing of Xiaohu Bao. Right in front of the Dragon spawning. Ghost use. They're diving Xiaohu.
They have Rift Herald.
Gold card to Xiaohu getting the Nimbus Cloak. Based off the heal, as you mentioned, the Herald's going to be put on down. JunJia tanking for a little bit, but not for long. Gold's going to go to these fed members and spread throughout.
And I love it because I didn't have to make the point. Our EDG made the point for me. I was going to say, ooh,
hang on, jump punch flushed away from. Gold card used, but there's no damage to follow up.
Whenever you have these types of global mid laners, I feel like taking mid lane turret is just so nice because, again, being able to push your wave against them deeper and keep them towards your inner turret really stops them from being able to make a wide range of global plays.
Hang on, let's watch this one, though. Xiaoxiang dodges away from the Counter-Strike, but doesn't feel confident to now force that into a Hextech ultimatum.
Nope, and we did see the power of his passive shield. It is one of the areas where you can try to win out in short trades against Jax. And right, this is the name of the game for Camille. Short trades as compared to New, who wants to take extended trades.
I was going to ask you a deeper question. What he would be maxing in this matchup? We've seen a lot of hookshot maxed, but Q, the precision protocol, is the usual do for the Camille.
Yeah, I would still expect it to be the Q. I know it's what it used to be like back in the day, but that was way before.
It's gone back and forth, like the hook shot.
I was gonna say that was back in like 2017, where if you remember, Camille was like first pick or ban, like OP, and obviously she's gotten a ton of different numbers, buffs, and nerfs since then. Mostly nerfs.
So cute.
Yep, has been Q.
As we're now going to watch the matchup yet again. There's the shield. Is Xiaoxiang going to go for the 1v1? Well, we pause because Xiaohu Bao caught it out by JunJia once again. Collateral damage over the wall. True Shot Barrage does not connect. Well, Scout's top side Xiaohu forced to teleport in as well. They want some turret plating.
But they are locked
They know
between
Scout's
two members.
here. But hang on, Xiaoxiang is actually backing away. Scout just wants to save a bit of turret plating. That's fair.
Hey, and I guess it works out for EDG when... Oh, God.
Xiaolangbao, there is a bear in there.
Oh, God. What's going to happen? Is there...
No, end of the line is secured. I was looking
at the map, and I'm like, there's no way any other members are going to come interact with this dragon. It's purely a 1v1. What is Xiaolangbao going to do?
As the Mafia would say, sometimes you got to take from a bear, you know?
Is that really a saying?
I don't know. I've never been in the Mafia. I've watched The Sopranos.
I was going to say, I felt like
there's
like a Sopranos or Godfather reference or something coming, but...
I think, actually, before Raz left, he was watching The Sopranos. I wonder if he's still watching it. Very good show. If anyone hasn't watched The Sopranos, one of the best 80s or 90s.
The Godfather, The Goodfellas, another good movie in that vein.
Just want to say, James Gandolfini is a great actor. Goodfellas, you're right. Another good one.
Goodfellas is great.
Well, there's a time period of all those movies like coming out, right?
I mean, I'd assume so because it's all the same actors in all of them, and they're all like the same ages.
Yeah.
So there literally has to be like a 10-year span.
To be in a Mafia movie, you have to be like 40 years old.
Can you imagine if they all just? I don't even. Actually, I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole. Never mind.
Okay, all right.
I was gonna like go with those like immortality, fountain of youth type like conspiracy theories.
For the Mafia.
Not for the Mafia, for that like group of actors who are in all those movies.
Oh yeah. Well, to be fair, James Gandolfini's dead, so I guess not.
Yes.
I mean, no.
This got like a really depressing, sad route.
Yeah,
so.
he was a great actor.
He was amazing. He was amazing. So.
Oh, Chenikosara dodged away from. Scout now sees Ming. GALA with a noble attempt, but RNG right now looking for windows because they're 3k gold behind. They're losing dragons with an Infernal Rift on the horizon. And that big Ezreal that we saw earlier in the game, still sitting on 3 kills with almost 2 items. And JunJia, with the Herald, has utter control of the Rift.
Yeah, and you do expect EDG to just be able to pick this one for free. And they're probably going to trade side lane turrets to where, New might get dove if he doesn't back off sooner. All of EDG are going to be on this half of the map. And Scout still has Destiny, by the way.
Meiko with ulti, which comes first. Destiny now channeled in.
Goodbye, Mr. New. We
see.
do have Galio ultimate.
If he turns onto Xiaoxiang, something could happen. Hextech ultimatum in the wings fly. Gold card dodged away from, but thank you to Meiko. That's what you should be saying. Jumps back onto Xiaoxiang. Much closer in a 1 versus 4 than it should have been. As Herald gets channeled and RNG are pushing bot.
Yeah, and I'm glad Xiaohu did end up using the Galio ultimate to, go to a certain death. So good job, Xiaohu. Not following your bro in, but overall, on a serious note, great job to EDG making that play, but still, it gave RNG a ton of time to get 2 turrets on bot. But it looks like EDG might be able to equal the trade.
No one there from RNG while you see mid with the turret gone down. You get freedom of the wave to hope. So a trade is a trade, and the fact that it hasn't gone above 3k gold with that early game devastation is still notable for RNG.
Yeah, and like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how the dynamics of the comps end up working out to where
execution.
You can see to where EDG are definitely going to end up in this 1-3-1 setup with Twisted Fate in the side lane, Camille in the other side lane. And then it's kind of going to be both. I assume JunJia wants to play more around his 3-man core to where if Xiaohu is sent to a side lane to answer for Scout, Xiaolangbao can go to answer, and you have this very strong 2v2 to just burst out the Twisted Fate.
Okay. And
see if that can turn into anything. But then on vice versa, right? We mentioned that Hope outranges RNG. The trade-off is the fact that, well, GALA does have the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, so you do have more pick potential if you do go for these types of evades.
Hang on, Hero's Entrance going to be used. The Face Breaker flashed away after Meiko gets it down. Enchanted Crystal Arrow locks him down. Shielded around with the Justice Punch, and he's just dead. JunJia in late to the party with Scout joining that said party. Xiaoxiang over the wall, ready in, gets the first kill. The gold card onto GALA. Ming low, and GALA even lower. Poked on down as it's close from Hope with the Mystic shot. Xiaoxiang ready to follow up. Hook shot, wall shot, almost up and available. But RNG back away. That was a tense one.
And these two teams are so close.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we need to say it, but they're just showing us that mechanically they're both on point. When it comes to shot calling, they both have clear ideas of how they want to play out the game. And EDG still with the lead, but as we saw from game 1, it's not over yet.
But we can see Xiaoxiang getting some more resources. Picked up a kill at the back end of that fight while New has not. 1 versus 1, a level advantage. The flash
Ooh.
from New. Hextech Ultimatum is available though, but the rest of EDG are coming down to support his brethren. Ulti used, and New's gonna die here. It was close, but once again, Xiaoxiang has bros.
I was going to say, this feels like one of those solo queue players who, again, you pick something like the Jax, the Fiora, the Camille's, you get set behind your 0-2, the enemy's been camping you. You're just so frustrated. You just want the isolated 1v1.
The old chat comes out and you say, bro, you need your friends
exactly.
to beat me, 1v1 me.
What, 2v1, 3v1, come on, you pick Camille, fight me. And, you know, ends up getting baited into the whole team. And, you know, it's going to snowball out of control maybe to like a 0-10 Jax. Not to, you know, give any bad omens for New, because he has obviously shown he understands how this matchup is played and has done quite well in those isolated trades.
But now 0-3, as you mentioned, and
You're
plus this Dragon's going down.
Point, hysterics.
And that goal
How
leads
did
up
we
to 4K.
get here?
With an early game that just needs to be admired.
And we talked about this last time, I think it was on the RNG FPX day, that why is it so obvious to predict how many games we're going to go to on the day? We said today's going to be 6. We guessed that before the broadcast, and it's looking like we're going to 6.
Especially with the way EDG are going. RNG setting up and playing the top side meanwhile. They can't find anything of it. I want to take stock of items because we, sir, are heading towards a Baron.
Yes, we are.
Let's see who does it early enough.
I mean, it looks like across the board we're at pretty much a 2-item mark for the side of EDG, where we look at RNG, right? They're still sitting on the 1.5 item components. Xiaohu especially only having the Proto Belt, Blade of the Rune King only out for GALA. So not looking good if we get into any fights. I mean, we've already seen you have no real good way of locking down Hope regardless. Like, you think about it, your only lockdown's Enchanted Crystal Arrow. He's E, is flashing, he can dodge that quite easily. So despite the fact that, you know, I've been sitting on the fence not making a call of who should win late game team fights, at least the fact that Hope is pretty much unchained feels like it'll be quite hard for RNG unless New can really destroy Xiaoxiang in a 1v1.
See, my curiosity is that Xiaoxiang already in the 1 versus 1. It's all about the Counter-Strike hitting from what it seems to be on screen. But at what item breakpoint does New become unmatchable?
I think it'll be 3. I was going to say, like, I feel like at 3 items will be the point where he could probably just dive the inhibitor turret and kill Xiaoxiang outright.
Okay.
So that will be what we need
so
to keep.
So Trinity into like Sterix Gauge or something?
Yeah, something along those lines, right? But we'll have to see if this game, I mean, heck, we have Soul in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Do we have time for 2 more items on a Jax?
Not really.
We saw him buy a Ruby Crystal, which kind of signals he might be going into a Sterix second.
I was thinking about it a bit, sold it, bought it again. As Colonel, get off the screen.
Going into Triforce right now would be so expensive, right?
Yeah.
It'd be way too hard.
So maybe the Sterix is an optimal second item.
We have seen some Jaxes go for Black Cleavers as well, which I think is maybe not the best route, but
the early GA, or is it just not worth it?
I don't think it's worth it. I think getting some HP again, something like a Sterix, I think makes sense to me.
In the past, we've seen like 3rd, 4th item and Jaxes, depending on the matchup, can be like the Randall Omen or Dead Man's Play.
I remember we used to have like what was it, the tanky Tiamat? What's it called?
Oh, the Titanic Hydra.
There we go, Titanic Hydra. Thank you so much, sir.
No
but
worries.
yeah, I remember back in the day we used to see that, which was always weird to me.
Yeah.
But obviously, rest in peace, Spear of Sojin.
That was great on him.
You will be remembered fondly in my heart.
As GALA actually might be called out. Hextech Ultimatum onto this Ashe. The Globals are coming in hot, though, as he goes golden in the midst of Xiaohu, but dunks back into Hope. A 2-man shield is ran by him. Hope to RNG, while it is a trade-off into the top laner. Yu's not in yet, but JunJia's been pulled on in. However, Hope has got a double, and this Ezreal untouched.
Well, and EDG are showing us how these scraps work. It's Hope's going to be untouched, so no matter what, if you could pick some people off, as long as EDG can take out GALA, the DPS is pretty much gone on the side of RNG. It's too hard for New to get in there. He's a melee champion, obviously. Xiaolongbao as well is much more burst-oriented. So overall, the key player to me in that was Meiko.
Yep. Great
job for him to wrap around, get that ultimate onto GALA, and pretty much just make sure that he's going to die.
Meiko's had a great game.
Meiko's such a confusing player to me because we talked about how slow start in spring. Early on, we're saying, hey, looks kind of mediocre. Came in second half, looked amazing. Was roaming around the map, making great plays, coming back into that star Meiko form. This split been kind of inconsistent. We've seen flashes of both. we've seen him get strong 2v2 kills in lane, and we're like, this is beautiful. We've also seen him have some really terrible games.
Yeah.
Their last one against EDG was definitely a standout, just bad performance for Meiko. So it goes back to the systemic issues we've talked about for EDG as a whole, where their players are all good, but they just aren't on the same page. Their dynamic doesn't always work out the best. The shot calling clearly not there.
Level of consistency question, but having Hope back in, because it was BBD for a couple of weeks, is good. Hope has been a star since joining as the main AD carry of EDG. Now that iBoy's left, as you can see this game, he's 5-0-3. There is a Caulfield's Warhammer and a QSS, considering that Death Dance is coming in, most likely soon.
And at the same time, we see with the fact that Infernal Soul's coming up, New can't go to a side lane. He needs to group. They need to try to 5-man gather pressure through mid and then walk into the enemy jungle, where EDG have all the vision, so they're still probably going to come out on top, but...
I mean, Hope's doing this himself.
They have no lockdown. They have no good engage. Okay, throw out the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. I press E. Now what do you do, RNG? Yep. Wahaha, you know?
Xiaohu doing the same thing as well. He's got 3 items himself. Easiest Infernal Soul of EDG's life. A Game 3 feels imminent. And EDG are heading towards that. Next on the menu comes the big purple worm.
You know what we said in draft, and what I complain about pretty much every time we see this Galio is,
what is it? Give
me Galio with some sort of engage option.
Yeah.
If you're going to give me this Galio that's more about playing for your Graves and Ashe, it's like, at least give me like Galio Aphelios, where I understand you're just playing around this champion that literally can 1v9 the game.
That's true.
So, but instead, yeah, we didn't get that. We got the
at least you got Jax
combo.
You know, Jax if he ever gets towards 4 or 5 items.
True. I mean, that's what it's about, right? Because the Galio in this comp, it makes sense. You're also playing for the early Graves invades, where you're supporting him early. You're hopefully accelerating the game through that means. You obviously always have a way to answer the Jackson top lane, but like my point is, even if like theoretically you can understand how it wants to play out the game, we haven't seen it work, and it just looks so easy to play around a lack of engage.
Yeah.
Especially when you do have things like Zoes and Ezreals and things along these lines where they now do get to freely poke you. It's very easy to outrange a comp right now. It feels like a lot of our more poke-oriented champions are strong.
It's kind of interesting that we're still hovering towards it right as a priority in draft, when things like, I guess, TF appear, which are easy to situate.
Yeah, I feel like TF, again, despite the fact you have a lot of bad matchups, can fit into a lot of different comps, right? You can play in a 1-3-1 setup. You can surround him with teamfight champions, as RNG did last game. So there's definitely tools. You can put him in a 1-4 composition as well. That's so true. Definitely way more flexibility.
As his rapid fire cannon will be coming in as his 4th item. Yeah. Always love to see that.
Me too. It's always a fun one, and just great getting that extended range for that gold card. It really just does make it worth it based off that fact alone.
I'm just watching that side lane. The damage is coming out onto the minion wave from Xiaohu.
Look, he's about to hit his 4th item, to where Xiaohu is only on 2.
That's
Doesn't
true.
even have a component for his 3rd item built yet.
Hey, news going off into the distance. There was some pressure around the Baron buff. RNG now feel obliged to go and check it. And Scout's going to be spotted out on the top side. Can they really get anything out of this TF? Seems like RNG know the answer's no. Xiaoxiang in a 1 versus 1. I want to see this again. Components to Triforce on the way for New. He's close.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that they have Infernal, right, you would assume the Camille wins this duel at this point, but I mean, with how we've seen it going so far, you really never have an idea. I feel like at some point, EDG are just going to have to force a Baron play. Like, EDG have 2 options at this point. You either send Scout bot and try to pick off Jax, which is hard when RNG have a Galio, so he can easily react, or you just go straight to Baron, which feels like the more optimal play to make. You don't gamble, but at least try to force out the Jax TP or something along those lines. You also have the Infernal Soul, so you feel fine just baiting a team fight. But EDG are definitely much slower and more methodical than that. I feel like they're just going to wait for someone to overstep and try to use Destiny to pick someone off.
They do, however, have to clear out the vision around Baron. We saw RNG with a really good place ward outside the pit. An area of the pit that is always really hard to scan for. Well, not if you're walking towards Baron, but you know what I mean. Reset timing here from EDG. There's also the potential of an Elder Dragon in 2.5 minutes.
I like that you mentioned that ward, though, because that ward and the one that you would put on the other side as well are always the ones that elude teams, despite the fact that they're so common now. I remember last year in Flamingo, those were the ones that, like, you would just, it would just be like some mindless thing you just forget about. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, that ward, once it catches you out, but
it's weird because if you pixel brush control ward, then you spot it out, especially on that side.
Well, exactly. The one that would be on the top side would be much harder to
Yep.
catch out because you don't typically control ward that
Outside
upper river brush at this stage of the game. But still, you know it's there.
Hang on, Meiko's going to walk into trouble here. Zoned on out. Haymaker for the shield. Flashes away. JunJia helps him for now, but the slow from GALA, collateral damage, taking him down. Storming over the wall. RNG have found their picks, and they ain't letting this bear go.
Hysterics, how do we end up in this position again?
Because RNG say go, and now towards the Baron, they're going to do exactly that. 3 versus 5.
And this time it's Meiko just face-checking vision. All of RNG are there. The rest of your members aren't there to follow up. Hope was nowhere near. This might give RNG the game.
Window back into it at the very least, and to get back some of that gold. Crucial Barrage will not steal it. Baron acquired.
So this does 2 things for RNG. One, it now gives you an avenue for New to at least put some pressure in a side lane. And 2, it now gives you a good, like, it's not going to make you win teamfights necessarily, but gives you the push to get vision for Elder.
As you said, Meiko going for a deep ward.
Look where Hope is on the map, right? It's just Meiko just going somewhere he necessarily shouldn't be at this point. He gets caught out, but again, they have Infernal Soul. They're still favored in fights right now. The thing to keep our eye on is how RNG utilizes Baron push to get vision for Elder to try to set up for a advantageous fight for this objective.
Especially when you have a Jax on the side of the map that now has Trinity Force and the Kindle Gem building towards what could be that Spirit Visage slash.
He did go for the Triforce like we talked about, which was a bit risky, right? But ended up actually having the time to get it.
Elder up in 40 seconds, though. And that fight you're talking about, the setup that RNG can build off this Baron, is going to be eminent in those next couple of seconds. They have to start moving down now and getting ready.
And it's still going to be tough, right? They're still down about 4K gold. They're down items, which is what that means, and they're down in Infernal Soul. So EDG definitely still have the items and damage to go toe-to-toe in a straight-up 5v5.
If Hope can get the poke, the arrow misses, though.
Oh, God, look at that Q.
New setup with the counter-strike, and you're talking about Hope with the Infernal Soul. This guy's firing left, right, and center. And with the Baron buff mid, this is slowing down EDG, but Elder is spawning.
I mean, at least as EDG, you potentially throw when you already have Infernal Soul, while you have an Ezreal against a team comp with no hard engage.
They're going to spot this out, getting started out by the 2 members. RNG have to walk through the river. Meiko has ulti as well to nail them into the wall. New's going head first. JunJia and Xiaoxiang ready to turn this around. Destiny into the backline from Scout, who has the gold card. The engage from Xiaoxiang may have nailed down the game here, but he's getting low and drops down. Scout trying to run in to bring back the fight because Hope just does so much at this point in the game, and EDG rely on him, take the rest of the fight, and bring the game right back.
And overall, RNG just don't have the damage EDG do. You've already mentioned Hope many times, and with 40-second death timers, looks like they're just going to push through bot and try to end out the game.
All right, GALA up in 25, Ming in 20. And you're right, with this pushing power, EDG could have secured the game 3.
They still have Infernal, so they still feel comfortable to go forward. Obviously, JunJia super tanky can look for a dive.
Baron helping defend at this point, though, from Xiaohu. But the Nexus turrets are squishy enough, and EDG say no. With this big minion wave, Xiaohu has held on.
Well, we see pings going down towards Elder. Xiaolongbao won't be up. It will be hard for him to get there. Xiaoxiang does have TP. New doesn't. Oh, wow.
Meiko backing. Spotted out in the back. I would stop Hope. And this is not the right time for a replay, but we'll be quick.
I mean, realistically, right, this is just the fact that EDG just have more damage. Like, they go in onto RNG. RNG gets a couple members low, but keep your eyes on Hope. He's just dishing out free damage in the backline consistently, using the Infernal Drakes as well as the Soul to win out those exchanges.
EDG winning the fight, pushing through bot, open inhibitor. RNG is starting up the Elder as EDG have reset.
They need to gamble at this point, Hysterics. You need to go for some kind of 50-50 play and hope you get this objective so you can try to come out in a team fight.
Crucial Barrage nailed them down. Backline RNG do get it though now for the fight. This could be their way back as Scout almost goes down. The Elder security there from New, 4 versus 5, and EDG are down an objective.
How does this keep happening, Hysterics? Why EDG every time? You know, the crazy thing is, even off the base push, it felt like they were in a better position to get it because Xiaoxiang had TP. You TP him in, New doesn't have TP, Xiaolongbao still wasn't even up yet. Sure, you're worrying about a potential 5v3 where you don't all have full health bars, but My God, just blunder after blunder for EDG. I'm getting to use the word blunder. That's how bad it is.
RNG are like, we'll take those. 3K is all that separates from them from EDG. A team fight win, they can try and end through bot. I mean, RNG going to start with mid.
The question keeps coming back to the same statement I keep saying. Can they get onto Hope? Because if they can't get onto Hope, I don't know how good this Elder's going to do them.
Okay. Well, at least for now, Hope, true shot barrage. He was caught out through mid. They jump on in, and Hope had such a good game until now. Execution time as RNG just laugh in his face. Scout is running home, but the wrong way.
EDG fans, I'm sorry that I just cursed you, but RNG finding the pick they need.
Out.
Scout, though, taking away the wave. That was actually really clutch.
Yep. I thought he was just really tilted from his bottom lane to play and running up mid.
I knew what he was doing, but I didn't know that RNG had literally no minions. So,
so
they keep the game.
Stalemate.
So, EDG fans, I take back my apology. It's not over.
But I have to say, Hope and Meiko have had a great game. That was pretty bad.
This was so nice from RNG, though, to find this opportunity. Goes for the ultimate to clear the wave. Gives RNG a moment to all funnel on top of you. And if there's one thing we said in Game 1, right, was that they did have that killer instinct to just jump on a target when it was available.
Yeah, did exactly that. RNG have equaled this gold up. It's to a point where it really doesn't matter that much anymore. Final items are coming across, and that Elder will expire in 30 seconds, but more importantly, the Baron's coming up in 15. RNG are resetting EDG back out on the map. And we're doing this one again. Of course, it's going to be another long series because these teams close the games out pretty slow.
Yep, and also, just to keep track of items, New did go for that Black Cleaver in the end, so he's sitting at a pretty strong point now where he's extremely tanky, wins out in the duels. Obviously, the fact that he has a lot of HP built into his items means he's also kind of fine to look for these skirmishes, even though it's not ideal as a Jax.
But I'm curious because, look, we'll double check on top lane items. We've got a GA here for Xiaoxiang.
And we have Scout, though, looking this hard play through side lanes.
Okay, EDG have the shove. They've got control over Baron. Scout here threatening the open in here. Someone's got to respond.
It's going to be New. New has the TP up, so Xiaohu does have Spellbook, so he potentially could just swap to it.
Where's he going? To the rest of the team. There's a numbers disadvantage because two people reacted. Across the arrow, though, used with Icon. Or sorry, no Icon. Xiaohu coming back in. The Bears out with Xiaoxiang in the backline, exhausted down. He has GA, but EDG have abandoned him. Not even Hope wants to go on in. And EDG, are you okay?
There's no words, there's no words anymore. I mean, there's words for RNG that they continuously come out on top of these exchanges, but...
Because they had a numbers advantage.
They did have a numbers advantage. They did. And Hope was literally left untouched on the side. He was just there. He could have dealt free damage if all of EDG were together. They didn't need to look for such a deep backline play. But, you know, Xiaoxiang has not got much playtime. I feel like we do give him a bit of a pass.
He had a good side lane performance. As RNG now, with that big death timer, they want to start up the Baron. They're going to commit their own TP. Let's go.
You don't need engage if you can force the enemy team to engage onto you.
Two shot barrage, shield is around you. Xiaohu with the gap close here. Hope in the backline once again. You and Scout are beefing it out while Meiko goes down. Back into the Baron, but low health bars. This is where Hope shines as GALA running forward. Goes into GA. Baron is secure, but Hope is the shining light. Needs to live on. Xiaohu goes golden. The TP comes through as Xiaoxiang has respawned. JunJia into the backline. On top of Galio gets a massive shield from Ming, but the blunder this time will be mixed around. As Xiaoxiang gets a double, chasing after Xiaolongbao. The movement speed needed. Here comes the Camille. Slow down, flash forward. Hextech ultimatum's there, and Xiaolongbao will meet his maker as well.
This game is absolutely nuts.
Oh no, we're
and
doing
it's still
this again.
going.
Now, who wins in the matchup? You said 3-item Jax.
3-item Jax. Come on, come on, Asterix. 3.5 item Jax.
Death Dance in Xiaoxiang's
heck
pocket.
more. He's like so close to being able to pick up that Asterix. But
holy dooly. What happens next?
I don't even know. Does EDG just look to push? Because they have 3 up. Xiaohu's going to be up in 17 seconds, Ming in 10, but it looks like it could probably be 2 inhibitors by the time anyone can answer.
Break this inhibitor turret with inhibitor underneath and bottom side 2. New threatening that has the Baron buff. That means the minion wave going to be coming up very shortly. If that Nexus was exposed, maybe it would be a different story, but the game goes on anyway, 38 minutes in.
Hey, and now you get to just funnel some gold onto your Jax with that open inhibitor, but still, obviously Elder Drake is coming back up. It's what we're keeping our eye on. For RNG, I really feel like they need to be on the objective first. It's very hard for them to just walk in blind this time around with this composition, to where we've already said, hey, EDG have like good frontliners. Sett or Volibear can very easily walk in. You have the Destiny coming out for, you know, easy vision as well.
Well, Elder's up. Ready to go again.
And we still have Infernal Soul for EDG. We need to keep pointing that out.
Open inhibitor mid. Here's the engage onto the Volibear. The Tentacles arrow negated, but JunJia still caught out with Meiko. Teleport going to be used. EDG. Hope also caught out there. Has to cleanse and flash away.
At the end of the day, though, he's still not dead. So he like, all the members are still full HP, still full mana. And RNG wasted a ton of tools to do that.
True shot barrage through Ming with the shield, the Inspire at this point in the game. Let me tell you one thing as a Karma main, this is your time to shine.
Yeah, and overall, we're keeping our eye on GALA.
JunJia needs a steal here. RNG is still doing it. The poke from Hope at 3k. 2k, the Elder will secure this game. Into the back, it's taken by New, and RNG now just need to kill them all. Running into EDG, that's all she wrote.
And up against their fiercest rival, RNG, do it again, Hysterics.
All they need to do is keep this down mid. 2 minions available. Scout's going to try and delay this game, but New's going to run into him, and RNG are now headed for the base.
They can just tank it at this point. It doesn't matter. Even New having the TP can just go and get onto a minion quite easily. This is a done deal.
A game that EDG got double first blood in. RNG are walking it down and are going to destroy the Nexus. EDG will bow their head while RNG rise again.
If there's one thing we've learned, is that an EDG RNG series always